Now, what did the umpire tell referee John Bannon? What did he see? It's a yellow card.
Well, he's looking to get away with that, actually.
Yeah.
That was a sending off offence.
Still arguing the point there with Brian McGuigan. Again, it is Philip Jordan. You hear the Cork mentors saying, start pressurising. Joe McMahon kicking and Joe McMahon putting it wide.
Just they cannot get the ball through to their inside forwards with any regularity today. You know, Stephen O'Neill and Owen Mulligan haven't been given the service that they need, but because primarily around the middle of the field, Kevin Hughes and Enda McGinley early on have been outplayed by Nicholas Murphy, Alan O'Connor when he was on, and Pierce O'Neill in particular.
This time the kick out goes straight to Martin Penrose, and you'd expect Sean Cavanagh and the rest now to apply the pressure for the remaining minutes. Here's Penrose from the pass from Kevin Hughes, and he belts it over the bar. Point for Martin Penrose. They probably need a goal. That was their first score in some 14 minutes now. Beautifully struck by Penrose. One back by Ryan McMenamin once again. Oh, onto it straight away comes the substitute, Fintan Gould. And that's beautifully dispatched between the posts and over the bar. Great point by Fintan Gould. Well, this is a really, really talented player. He seized on that opportunity, got it onto the right, and cracked a beauty.
Yeah, again, an untypical error from Ryan McMenamin that time, but again, wonderfully latched onto by Fintan Gould. Again, from a difficult angle, screwed it across his body. That's a great score.
Here's Brian McGuigan. Chased there by Kieran O'Connor, who's just come in. Everybody claiming it. 3 minutes of added time to be played. So we're into injury time now as Sean Cavanagh tries to drive through. Tyrone looking for a goal just to give themselves some little bit of hope. Yeah, that time it's going to be Davy Hart who fouled it. It's going to be...
I think he took the street.
Well, he put it over the bar, didn't
he? Yeah, it's a Davy Hart point.
Well, he's got his point, but it's too little at this stage anyway. 1-13 to 11 points, 16 points to 11. Well, the cheering now is by the Cork fans all around Croke Park in a crowd of just over 53,000. And another change is being made, as you can see, and Owen Cadigan, who played in this year's hurling championship, comes on in place of John Miskela, and that's Cork's fifth sub. It's a luxury they can now afford because they realise they have 1 foot already very definitely in the All-Ireland final. Sean Cavanagh now. Cavanagh still trying to cut through. Still Cavanagh! Oh, not sure if he hit the post when that one went out. I think he did.
He did, yeah. Fabulous run by Cavanagh that time. I expected him to cut inside, but he just kept going straight. Again, just let fly from here and just hit the outside of the post. But again, in fairness, Alan Quirk, I thought, had the angle fairly well covered.
Let's just look at it again here. Some shot. Yes, you're right. I think Quirk had it. Each team with just 4 points scored in the second half, so they've cancelled one another out. Is it prayers for a victory or prayers for the final whistle if you're a Cork fan? Alan Quirk kicking it into the middle of the park. Again, rising up for it was Aidan Cassidy here. Hold back there by Pierce O'Neill. Free kick to be taken by Brian McGuigan. Canty was under it. It was Cavanagh who got a fist to it. Alan Quirk. We're in the last 40 seconds. Cork by 5 points. Hefty challenge there on Cadigan. So in spite of losing a man after 29 minutes of this match in controversial circumstances because of 2 yellow cards, it's Cork the Munster champions. who are ready to take their place in this year's All-Ireland. Surely there isn't enough time for Tyrone. Cork have the ball. The referee says play away. It reaches Paddy Kelly. Huge one into space. They wait for the whistle of John Bannon, the referee. There it is. Conor Coonahan's team, Cork, knock out the All-Ireland champions from 2008, Tyrone. And Cork are in the Munster final, are in the All-Ireland final. The Munster champions have done it. Well, they weren't the favourites, that's for sure. But Conor Coonahan goes to his backroom team. The fans salute what was a wonderful effort by Graham Canty and his men. And the reigning champions from last year are out of the hunt for the Sam Maguire Cup, beaten 2 years ago by Kerry in the final. Who will it be in this year's final against Cork? That's something that the Rebels won't worry about at this stage. Well, Mickey Hart will be bitterly disappointed. His plan was to win 2 in a row. That's been blown out of the water. Full-time score, it's Cork 113, Tyrone 11 points.
Congratulations, Conor, you're in the All-Ireland final, but what a battle, considering you'd 14 men after 29 minutes of the first half.
Yeah, it made it a bit difficult, all right, but you know, in fairness, the lads, they showed great heart and determination there and ground out a result in the finish, and you know, we were thankful to get it. I suppose, you know, on days like this semi-final, it's all about trying to get your performance, and you know, fortunately enough, we managed a level performance that got us over the line today.
Not a good day in the office for Tyrone. Nothing went right, really, did it?
No, definitely not. Lots of things went wrong, but we can't fault their effort. We have to take our hats off to Cork. I'd congratulate them. It was a terrific performance by them right across the field. They coped admirably with losing their man, and they had that gap at half time. We felt we could claw it back a bit, but it proved beyond us, and they were able to just keep picking off their scores as well. So it was Cork's day, and they deserve it, and they're a quality side, and I wish them well.
Well, we're deeply disappointed, and probably, but on the day, Cork were the better team, and you take your hats off them, and they played and they got the breaks in the second half, and we gave away a few mistakes, 3 or 4 scores, but on the day I think they deserved it, like, so you can't complain.
We knew we were, I suppose, we were performing. It was a matter of going out in the second half, you know, and maybe trying up with that bit more, and thankfully we did, you know.
Do you mind if it's Kerry or Meath, or do you have a preference?
No, I mean, look, we've no preference. We're in All-Ireland final. It doesn't matter to us who's going to be there, you know. As I say, it was a goal at the start of the year. Whoever's going to come through, we'll focus in on them over the next few weeks. But, you know, we're just glad to be there now.
They say that a team reflects its manager in so many ways. They had spirit, they had determination, and they had a real physical presence today, Cork, hadn't they?
I think the lads have always had that themselves, you know. That doesn't come from anyone. You can't ingrain that into people. They've great qualities, and you know, they've had a great victory today, but the reality is they're still only in an All-Ireland final, and you know, if you want recognition at this level, you must achieve the ultimate, and you know, that has yet to come, and you know, that's our next task. Well,
I know you're the essence of calmness, but I just noticed at half-time you're going into the field. I think you were trying to have a word with the referee or the linesman. Were you annoyed, agitated with the referee today?
No, well, I mean, you're always annoyed when decisions don't go your way, and sometimes the interpretation of certain rules be somewhat different one day than another, and that's the problem I have always with refereeing, is consistency. And I just felt that certain things were being refereed in a way today that on other days they'd be refereed differently, but that's only my opinion, and obviously my opinion will be coloured for our favour, so I'm just honest enough to say that. I'm not saying that beat us, because we worked very hard today, but Cork were better.
Well, it's going to be a long way now. I think probably it's I think it's about 2 years to get there, like, so we're going to come back and just think about it, and probably McKenna Cup's a long way away yet, so I'll have the head down for a while. I'll go with the club, so see where it goes from there.
Well, there's no giving up, Ryan McMenamin. We want to see you back in Croke Park.
Okay, thanks very much.
Well done.
Yeah, tough on the Tyrone lads, but Tony Davis, Cork football has had its share of heartache in this decade, so today must have made up for all of the Cork people.
Well, not yet. I suppose they haven't won the All-Ireland yet, but certainly the performance today was good, because they have never come up against a team like Tyrone, particularly in Croke Park. The hoodoo of Croke Park, can Cork play there? They proved today they can. They proved today they can beat the All-Ireland champions. So they've gone an awful long way in establishing themselves. But as Conor said there, you must win an All-Ireland to really establish yourself as a good team. But they have all the credentials for it. They took on Tyrone today at their own game. They won primary possession, moved the ball fast, and Conor and his management team got their matchups perfectly. They won the battle in the full back line, in the half back line, around midfield, and they have good scoring forward. So they're certainly on the way to going all the way to win the All-Ireland, but there's another big step to go yet, Des. But in fairness today, they did everything right, so look, we look forward with optimism now.
Colm, they clearly won the fitness battle today. Did they win the tactical battle as well?
I think they did, and I don't know whether they won the fitness battle, but they won the speed battle. And I think that, you know, as Tyrone have developed over the last 5 or 6 years, the body type of any individual changes in their late 20s. Tyrone have got stronger, but they certainly have lost pace, and they came up against a team who had real pace all over the pitch. As well as that, I was surprised with Mickey Hart's matchup. I thought PJ Quinn struggled throughout the game, and Conor Gormley also struggled, but he's been one of their main men. But I was surprised with putting McMenamin and Pierce O'Neill. But the whole tide was running in Cork's favour in that first half, and I don't think that anything that Mickey Hart would have done would have changed it.
Even with the extra man?
Yeah, even with the extra man. The nature of the game changed completely when Alan O'Connor was sent off, from a free-flowing game to a stop-start game, which suited Cork because obviously they weren't going to allow a rhythm develop which Tyrone could get into. So, you know, from a tactical point of view, I think Cork played it very well the second half by fouling in the right parts of the field.
Right. Anthony, that opening half and that free-flowing Cork football, talk to us about that.
Well, if you look at what Mickey Hart said before the game in his pre-match interview, he talked about the team that had the greater work rate and greater desire would win, and I thought it was Cork showed those traits, particularly in the first 20 minutes of the game. They were the team that were looking as if they really, really wanted to win this year's All-Ireland, and they have great pace and energy and athleticism. We talk about the physicality and the size of their players, but they're good footballers. They play the ball nice and direct early on, and the goal was a wee bit fortunate to get the second chance, but I thought in the opening period they troubled Tyrone. Support play was fantastic. Pierce O'Neill, how many times we've seen Pierce doing this, attacking the goal at pace, and uncharacteristic of Conor Gormley to lose possession, but their forward line showed a fair degree of work rate as well to put the Tyrone backs under pressure. And Colin O'Neill, a gamble in many ways by Conor Coonan to play him full forward in a big game like this, but he responded well today. But you know, after 20 minutes, Cork won 8 to 3 points in front, well on the road to victory, and in the second half the game totally changed, and they played very, very smart in the second half. But to me the damage was done in that first 20 minutes.
Well, Tony, Tyrone fans will be wondering, where has it gone wrong, you know, after what looked like shaping up to be a good year? Where do you think it went wrong for them today?
Well, I suppose Cork has athleticism, as you said earlier on, but really Cork put them under huge pressure right throughout the field. They actually did a Tyrone on Tyrone. Everything Tyrone are famous for, putting people under pressure, blocking down and harrying. Here we see Joe McMahon coming up the field. This is the start of the second half, Cork a man down. Now Cork went into defence, they kind of set up a shield there, and they have a couple of their first line of defences there, so the forwards tackle their man, put them under huge pressure. So really you're cutting down the supply line going down along the field, so they can really come and support or get the ball into the inside forward, which they weren't able to do all day. Here we see them putting under huge pressure. The ball they eventually get it free, put it up the field, and here again you see the second line, which is about 35 yards out from goal, and you see that famous Tyrone half back line, Jordan and Hart, and what happens, they're put under pressure to kick the ball wide. The other thing is, we heard before the game where Tyrone were going to let Cork win the ball if they couldn't win it themselves and take it off. But what do Cork do? They put them under pressure, they strip the ball away, and the best thing to do then is get the ball away from the drop zone as they did. Here again, we see them, their forward line coming forward the ball, put under huge pressure by the Cork backs. And again, Cork moved the ball away at pace from the drop zone. This is like watching, let's say, Cork have white jerseys. They could have been Tyrone a couple of years ago with the same energy and enthusiasm. That energy and enthusiasm does go after a couple of years of winning All-Irelands and stuff like this. Here O'Neill goes in, he's surrounded by 4 players in the corner, and again, Cork moved the ball away quick. This could have been Tyrone a couple of years ago.
And Colm, for you, maintaining this, as Tony says, maintaining that high intense level, do you think that's the short term?
Yeah, I think a team can only do that for 3 or 4 years maybe, and you have to add something in that sort of goes along with that. Now in this particular sequence you can see where Cork have built a screen outside the scoring zone, and they're allowing the sort of Tyrone half-backs. Now Hart and Jordan have been good for 3 or 4 points for Tyrone in almost all the games. So what Cork did today was to force them to the wings and let them shoot from there. It was very clever play the second half, because even with the Tyrone kick out, Cork often let them take the kick out and withdrew into their own half of the field and sort of defended from very deep positions and tried to hit Tyrone on the break. And you know, the way it